Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camerado.com. What is the word for the day? Anybody know?
No.
Don't know.
The bird. The bird, bird, bird. The bird is bird. Actually, it's 10 days, 14 hours, 51 minutes, and 7 seconds until GunCon starts. That is the word. Get your
Okay.
tickets, kids.
There you
I'm
go.
doing something I haven't done before on going to a show. I'm actually going to camp out.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
There's a campground just outside of Valley City, Ohio, that I'm going to go camping in, and I'm going to camp out.
That
So
sounds interesting.
yeah, that'll be nice. I haven't camped in a while. I miss it. Fortunately, my
Tent
wife doesn't.
camper camp.
Tent.
Oh boy,
He's roughing it.
he's roughing it. Yeah.
I'm using an inflatable mattress. Don't let me fool you.
Yeah, it's if it's a a campground, then that means they have showers and all that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
usually pretty. They're usually pretty good. So that's neat. I haven't done that since I was elk hunting, so that goes back a ways. uh,
Yeah. Take a cord and a fan and air
Yep.
mattress.
yep.
Got to have power for the CPAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get me a new one. I need to get one of the travel ones. I'm tired of lugging my bigger one around.
Yeah, mine's not that big.
I'm off
But
of mine.
oh,
Really
the
good for
heck!
you.
Yeah, with the weight loss that I had and everything else,
Oh, I suppose.
yeah. You're on Monjourno now, right, Ray?
Yeah.
Have you lost any weight yet on it?
I haven't lost any weight, but I'll tell
Okay.
you what, I'm noticing my blood sugars are way down, way down.
Uh-huh.
So it's working. It's just
What?
everything they say you're supposed to take to lose weight. I've never seen any of the weight loss.
Okay. I uh I it took a while. It took me till I got to 7.5. Um
Okay.
and then it really it yeah, then it started. And I'm down to 230 from
Good, good.
285, so that's yeah.
I have noticed the not getting hungry as much. I do notice that.
hmm And you get the um, your insulin use is going to go way down. Plus, I don't know. They have you on any other meds besides metformin?
Oh yeah, I take with Semglee. I take what's my not Novolog, plus regular insulin. Uh,
Yeah.
I forget what I take. So many pills. I got to have a list in my wallet when I go to the doctor. So, but, but
Same.
everything, like I say, the blood sugars are down. Just haven't noticed the weight loss. Everything's come down.
Well,
So
I was on metformin and a Tragenta and one other one, and now I'm only on metformin. My insulin was down to 4 units now a day,
oh wow,
and yeah,
that's
so
real good.
My
yeah,
wife has been off insulin for 2 years, 3 years now. Because she went on Ozempic.
uh huh,
So
Yeah, mine's hereditary. My father had it, my grandfather had it, and beyond that, who knows? But I mean, I knew I was going to get it.
Lifestyle, my is mine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, probably partially mine too, but I mean, I knew hereditary wise I was going to get it.
my
yeah,
wife's is genetic. For hereditary, so but
Oh, Alaska Russ says Steve Drew had a question on MeWe. Sure, you guys can help him. I struggle with anything under 240 grains.
mm-hmm.
On what?
Chili Alaskans.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought that up is Steve's question was, hello everyone, has anyone had success loading CAS 223 with Lee 55 grain bullets or another mold and getting MOA or sub MOA results, trying to find a good load shooting a Wilson Arms barrel, 1-8 twist, 20-inch AR-15 platform? Any help would be great.
No. I've not ever found a lead load that'll work in an AR to function with one. And if he wants to keep them down to 22 velocities, he can try it, but it won't function the gun. And I just never found an AR that would work with a high velocity load lead bullets.
Yeah, I've never even tried.
Plus, it's a pain in the ass. You have to have an M die in order to open it up to get seat the bullet in there.
Yeah.
Get the bullet seated in there, and then you can close it up, and yeah, no, nope.
I would think maybe a zinc one, but not lead.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody has to have. I posted it over in Discord. We'll see if the kids over there have anything.
The 222 could do it, but again, it was 1,300, 1,400 feet per second.
Mm-hmm.
And in a bolt gun, it was not a big deal. AR's got a lot of.
I'll take it, Kyle.
But yeah, no, there's never had any luck with 223 in a lead bullet. So, and if he's looking at the cost, it just ain't going fast enough in order to to be accurate to do anything. So,
I think a 55 and a 1-8 twist is not going to do well. I think if he got a 1-12 twist barrel, he might have success.
That could be, yeah. I've never tried it in a slow twist barrel. I know that. But my bolt guns were 1-12. Yeah, or 1-12 at the time. And the 222 was 1-14. So that one handled the 55 grain bullets okay. But then again, I think measured velocity was like 1,600 feet per second. That was it.
Well, if
Good.
Kyle's serious, Kyle, I'll pay for shipping. And then I'm going to powder coat him and gas check him and see how fast I can push him.
There you go. There you go.
But anyway. So I didn't make it out to the range yet with my to try out the Rangecraft.
Okay.
Hopefully Thursday.
All right. Not just for the dads here on the show, which we all are. Yeah, everybody having a good Father's Day.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Both boys came down. We went to breakfast. It was a good day.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wife and I went to the movie, so yeah, we had a good Father's Day.
Nice. No kids. An adult.
Yep.
An adult.
Kind of like a date night.
Yeah, an adult weekend. Wow.
Yeah. Went to see the new John Wick flick, the Ballerina.
How was it?
Not too bad. Not too bad. They're kind of, I can see where they're kind of passing the torch a little bit.
Okay. Nice.
Pretty action packed, and gunplay is good as always.
Yeah. I will say that's the one thing I can say for the franchise is they've gotten the gunplay correct.
Yep.
For the most part. I mean, I haven't sat down and watched it, minute by minute to say, oh no, he did that wrong right there. But I mean, as far as overall accuracy and believability,
yeah,
you don't have a slide locking, or you don't have a slide cocking as he's pulling it out of his holster. And you don't have a slide cocking as he's pulling a revolver out, as I've seen in a couple of movies. Yes, I have. And you're just like, what the?
The only issue I have in the franchise is the amount of punishment, as far as fighting, that they can endure in it. I mean, nobody can take that kind of a bare knuckles fist and keep going and shoot that guy, then another 5-minute fight with another guy. That's a little far fetched.
Yeah.
But makes for a good movie.
Oh yeah. It does. It does.
Exactly. Clifford Zach said, I enjoy movies more when I don't pick them apart. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's like everybody was complaining about all the Star Wars, sequels and so on and so forth. After I was so, like everybody else, so horribly disappointed by the prequels, I realized that they're not going to be able to do any. They're not going to get anywhere near what the originals were.
Yeah.
And so when I go into these movies, I have to take them at what they are, which is just entertainment and a story. And it is what it is. Now, if you want to, if there's just horrible, plot holes in the existing story and so on and so forth, you want to, you're like, what the hell? Then that's a whole different story. But yeah. I mean, basically, a lot of it's just going to be entertained. So, but I don't think I've seen a movie in the theater in 3 or 4 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
Nothing worth seeing.
Yeah.
There's nothing that Hollywood's put out that's worth seeing. Actually, I haven't even seen John Wick 4. So.
Yeah, we go to Sam's Club around Christmas time, and they've always got the discount movie cards, and we buy several of those up and use them throughout the year.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen the new James? There's supposed to be a new James Bond movie coming out.
I have not seen any updates on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't even remember who they picked.
same guy.
Daniel Craig?
Yep.
I thought he was done.
I saw a quick cut and but no mention of anything else, and it wasn't from any of his other movies, so just wondered.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Bond franchise in forever.
Yeah, same here.
Daniel Craig did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. More realistic than a lot of the other Bonds, so yeah.
The last one he did was No Time to Die in 2021.
Right.
There's nothing about anything new.
Okay.
He's actually really good in Knives Out. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's pretty good. And Logan Lucky is pretty funny. So. So there's no confirmed Bond.
They're not saying who it is, but
I know there's a rumor trailer floating around out there.
yeah.
With talking about a potential Henry Cavill as Bond or Idris Elba or Idris with a possible Christmas release.
Okay.
But that's it. Nothing firm.
Spaceballs 2. It's going to be hard to beat the first one.
I am excited for it. So I am really excited for it. Yeah, six-pack project. I would agree. Knives Out is worth owning. So, yeah, Kyle. I'll figure out how to get a hold of you, and we'll figure out how we can make that happen. So, absolutely cannot wait for Spaceballs 2. I've known about Spaceballs 2 for about 4 years now. There was a rumor that I caught that confirmed it was going to be. Originally, it was supposed to be a 2026 release. but I guess they had problems with something with filming with one of the main actors that's going to be in it, so they had to push it back. Because originally it was slated for Christmas 2026 release. So, but yeah, totally excited about that. And I saw Russ's comment about Buster Scruggs wasn't a real shootist. If you haven't seen The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it's on my watch list because I've seen some of the clips, the YouTube shorts and stuff, and it looks like it's just absolutely hilarious. It's definitely a comedy play on westerns. So one of the outrageous slapstick style. Like the guy shoots so ridiculously well, it's not even funny. He gets into a fight in a bar, and the guy draws, and it's a table with a slatboard table, and he punches Buster's character's the Buster Scruggs character punches the board. It comes up, hits the guy in the chin, and the guy shoots into the ceiling. And then he just keeps doing that over and over again. So every time Buster hits him in the mouth with the board, he shoots into the ceiling until he's out of bullets, and then Buster draws and shoots him. I think it's hilarious. Excuse me. Six Pack Project said it's a great compilation of shorts making fun of the Old West. So, there's a scene where they kind of rip off Outlaw Josie Wales. Where he walks in, where Josie rescues the squaw from the two trappers. He kind of rips that off, that bar scene off, where he's got a couple of those unseedy characters and stuff, but there's no none of the other activities going on, and there's a shootout and stuff, so it's kind of funny. But and Spirits Fire. Congratulations on losing the 80 pounds. That's awesome. Stephen H. said he do not watch the last John Wick. Disappointed me so much. I've heard that from a few people. But I don't know. I want to probably watch this for the action. I mean, it kind of got incredulous where into 2 into 3.
Yeah.
So 3 kind of is just, you really have to suspend belief for 3.
Yeah.
The fact that he's still alive. So, but so, excuse me. So we talked about summer plans, and we got all these cartridges I'm going to load up. And so I've got powder, and I got to figure out what type of powder, what powders I'm going to use.
Okay. Picking powders. First off, they got to be available.
So I went through, I had the kid help me the other day. I went through what I actually have here. Oops, don't do that. Come on. There we go. And so this is what I actually have. I put DuPont for some and Hodgdon for some, or Hodgdon for some. Just kind of, that's how I did it. So,
yeah,
it's interchangeable. Same with Western. But so I have the accelerator loads, which I need to do, the 30-30 and the 30-6. And then I have the hunting 30-30 loads.
Okay. And the bullet weight in those hunting 30-30 loads?
160.
160, huh? Okay. So IMR 3031 would be a way to go. With what you have there. And just clean up. Oh, 30.
No CFE 223?
No. But you can buy me some and donate it.
And you're going to run Hornady. Come on, where are you? And what we got? 41.98.
You could use that 4064 for 160 grain.
All right. All right, 4041 is telling me that at 23 and about a half grains of 41.98. 23 and a half grains is giving you about 85 to 86% load ratio. In other words, that's how full the case is going to be. You're going to get about a 99% burn rate, which is doable. And you're going to look at about 2,200 feet per second. Next one would be IMR 3031.
What was the charge weight on that 4198?
23.5.
That'd be good for a hunting load.
Yep. Um, 3031, you're at 29 grains of 3031 gives you about 98% load ratio, burn of 91.6, and 20 feet per second. And it's maximum. This what I'm giving you is max loads, so you got to cut back on that. Accurate. Let's try accurate.
So 3031 is one of the big powders that they have listed for the sabots. The sabot loads.
Okay.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Why do you have 3031 twice on your list?
I don't know.
Number 5 and number 18.
There we go.
Okay.
Accurate 2330. Call it 28 grains. 28.5 grains of 2330 or 2230. Load ratio is going to be about 91%, 100% burn rate, and you're talking 2360. I like that one because of the high load ratio and 100% burn rate. Let's see. I don't think that would work. 2520 is just a little too slow. Yeah, 2520. It'd be a compressed charge of 31 grains. But the burn ratio is only 81%, so that's not a good load with that.
Not very efficient at all.
No. Okay, let's go to Munchton again. And 32.5 grains of Levarution. Okay, guys, get it for me. And then
Lever Evolution.
There we go. Lever Evolution.
I spent a lot of time practicing on that too.
Yeah. 32.5 grains, 98% is a load ratio on that. The burn of the propellant, though, is 85%. You're getting, 2,400 feet per second, though, with that.
Yeah.
Definite possibility. That's about what I see you for 30-30. Now then.
So I was looking at the Sabot loads, and that one's pretty easy. 30-31's pretty much the only one that I've got that they recommend. And on that one, because of the pressures and everything, I don't want to play around with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what bullet are you looking to use in that?
Just a standard 55 FMJ.
FMJ. Okay. All right. Yeah, 30-31 is the only one I'd use. 41-98 could be possible, but everything I show is too high a pressure. And there's a tough balance in that one between getting the load volume up high enough and the powder burn complete in that one.
Yeah, see what E. Arthur Brown is saying for powders is IMR 3031, RX11, which I don't even think you can get anymore. H335, Accurate 2230, S3032. This is old, so I don't know what the S3032 would be.
S3032.
WW 748, so Winchester Western 748, and N201, which I think would be Vitivorteri. The weird thing is it gives you the same powder charge for all the different powders.
So the burn rate has to be pretty close on it. Okay.
Looking that way. Yeah, it says powder, medium, fast powders. So.
Okay. Burn chart.
This is what I'm looking at right now.
Uh-huh.
So they did some serious workup on this. They just didn't half-ass this. They gave you seating depth and everything. They did a water displacement, case capacity. And all of that. They were only using a 19-inch barrel on this. Holy crap. Can't wait to see what I get for speed out of the Springfield with this. Ray, can you imagine that coming out of a 1903? 1903's got a little bit longer than a 19-inch barrel.
22.
Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm here.
I'm trying to see.
Six packs, right? Looks like pretty much 223 type powders.
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Nope, it's me.
I do not see anywhere in my powder charts a 30-23 or a 30-32. I don't see any of that.
What the hell?
Let's see. Okay. I found it. Brigadier.
Yeah, I seen that.
It's yeah.
Is that a pull down powder or something like that?
No, it's from
I lost all
Scotland.
audio. I can't hear you guys. Hopefully you can hear me. Dumb.
We got you. We got you, Mike. Yeah, Brigadier was made in Scott Powder Company. Part of Western Powder now. When they were bought out in 2020. So that's pretty old data on it.
Yeah, it looks like they were bought out by Accurate and
Yeah.
wow.
So it's in between Accurate XMR 2015 and Alliant RL7. So see if I can find about 84, 85. Yeah, it's not even. Alliant is 77 now. Accurate is 2200, and yeah, not around anymore.
I'm looking at an old powder chart, and it's right around IMR 3031. It's between IMR 4198 and IMR 3031. That 3032 was.
Right. I would. Some people have it as the same speed as Alliant Reloader.
Yeah.
7.
Yep, real close to that. Yep.
And Accurate would be Accurate 2200 would be close in there. 3031 is quite a bit slower. So,
yeah. But you can get pretty powders that are pretty close.
Yeah, I would try H322 because that's available right now. That would be a good one to try. Especially since it's a small kernel powder that you can go through a powder measure pretty quick. When I tried to, yeah, go ahead.
Was that an extruded powder, that Scotch powder, or was that a?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have never used any of the Brigadier powders was that they were never around that
Hmm.
much. You know,
How far back is that? I mean, I've never
2020
heard of them.
2020 is when the first notice that I see of them, and they're being bought out by Accurate Arms.
2020. Wow. I'd never heard of them.
Yeah. So,
Clifford. You can answer that one, Paul. Clifford.
The
there's
heck
no
was
dumb
that, Eli?
question. That is not a dumb question. How to use a burn chart?
Yeah.
You need to have another tool in order to use one. You can look up the items that you can look at the powders that are around, pick one out, and then go to something like Gordon's reloading tool and learn that, and it will give you an idea of how the powders are going to react in a gun. The things that I look for is low density. In other words, that it's going to be above 85, 86%. And then the powder burn is going to be close to 100 or is 100%. But you need, it's two things. You use the burn chart, and then you can use the Gordon's reloading tool to compare and put it kind of through a quick function. Now, remember that anytime you use a piece of software, that not all the time is it right, and you can vary in pressures just by changing primers by 5,000 psi. So watch yourself there. Does that help any? But yeah, and what I use the other way to use a burn chart is to take it and find the powders that are available in the area that you are looking. Let's say you're going to reload a medium capacity case. So I'm going to start somewhere in 30, 31 or somewhere in that area and work my way down to 4350 and make a list of the powders that are available and that I can get my hands on to test, and then run it through Gordon's reloading tool to see how they work out. Yes, I do other stuff to the chart. Here's let's go here. One that isn't used a whole lot. Let's go one that's used a lot. We'll go there. Yes. And we're going to go here and find how about, yes. Yes. And I'm going to hit here and drop to there right now and show you guys in a minute.
Hi, can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. And then I'm going to go here, share screen. And all right, this is what Gordon's reloading tool looks like. This is your gun. We're looking at a 308 Winchester here. This is your gun. You put your own information into it as far as what your gun is. And the important part is how much water it holds in a fired case. Pick your projectile out. Then pick your powder. What I have here is
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello.
We can hear you.
Me now.
Can hear you, Mike.
Can hear you, Mike. We're good. So I have H4895 picked out, 44 grains. I can go higher. If I go 45, and we're at the warning mark there. 44.6 puts me at 56,473.
Wow,
I can hear you, Mike.
now. So my microphone's working.
Your microphone
Fantastic.
is working, sir. Yes. And we're looking at a 93% load ratio, which is right here, 100% propellant burn, and a 24-inch barrel. And you can change any of the stuff that's in yellow. So if I want to pick another powder and I want to go to IMR 3031, go OK. And that 44.6 grain is too hot, but I can go to 4380. I'm at 94% load capacity, 100% powder burn, 57,000 PSI. And yeah, it works.
Those suggested powders and loaded, is that proven data or is that theoretical?
They're theoretical. Everything here is theoretical. Because you're picking the bullet out. Here you're picking, I got an SST interlock.
Okay.
150 grain bullet. Okay. And it takes into effect just like quick load would do. It takes into effect, and then you can pick the powders out, the powders that have been tested here. And if I went 4064, okay. I can go to, say, we're getting close, it says, to the maximum permissible gas pressure. And we're at 54. I could probably do another one, 56. Okay, that puts me close enough. 5,000 plus or minus. I'm at 96.8 load ratio in there. In other words, I filled the case up to 96.8%. And below that is burn rate of 98%. So I'm leaving about 2% of the powder is getting blown out with IMR 4064. And
you said those were max loads?
This is a max load, yes.
Yes. So to be safe, you download 10% and
right.
Work up.
And I can put in there ladder steps, and I have right now at 0.4 of a grain. And so that starts me out at 41.40, 41.4. And I can sit down and say that would be 44,624 PSI, 89% load factor, and 91.1 burn propellant for 2,600 feet per second. So I can do a ladder load to see where I'm at as far as how it's going to work.
I've never used the Gordon's. Nick has. I've never played with it.
What is the difficult rate to use this Gordon's reloading tool? The difficulty? I think it's about an hour's worth of playing with it to try things out. I took a bullet for my 6 GT that is not in Hornady's repertoire or in this. I built it into this here, and using the EDM-VT bullet, the 80 grainer in the 6 GT, and I built my ladder test with it, and it worked really close. And I checked my pressures with my patented blade micrometer and case head measurement. So I had none of the expansion was over a thousandths of an inch.
Yeah. I guess to play with to start with, put in known load data, known loads, and see if it matches what you've been getting. Then you can start playing.
Right. You can do that. I just trusted it and went and played with it. It had no bullet to deal with or anything else, so I made one up. I took a 103 grain Hornady bullet, reduced the weight down to 80, put the new bearing surface in and everything else, and then plugged it in and came up with a max load. With a ladder test.
It's like Mike's having issues.
Yeah. How well can you put good info into 6-pack? Give me a good info. Give me a cartridge and we'll put some good info into it. Clifford, I don't know. I've not used it for handguns, mainly because I deal with rifles all the time. But their cartridges, let's see what we got. 357. Yeah, okay. 357 SIG, okay, 350. Yeah, okay. 357 Magnum. All right. Yes. And we're going to go to a Hornady. Let's pick a 357 bullet. Okay. 6-pack wants us to do the 357 max. Okay. Apply load data. Yep. Okay. See if they have the RCBS bullet that he is looking at. RCBS. They don't have that bullet, but if you know how long it is, I can put it in. They only list, well, let's see if it's in the 200 grain here. Oh yeah, it's not a 357 bullet, it's a 308 bullet. Okay, got it. Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna go 296 Winchester. Let's go. No, let's get with Hodgdon and go H110. There we go. Okay. And 12. All right. I'm at 18 grains of H110, which is 83% with a 208 grain 358 RCBS flat nose. Where can I go? See if I can go up a little higher. Let's go 20. 20 is too much, but 20 puts us at 50,000 and we're at 44. 18.8 puts us at 41. Okay, so we're gonna do barrel length 275 overall length. Cartridge length is 2.075. Okay, barrel length 10. Go with a 10-inch barrel and 18 twist, projectile, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we can go, I'm at 34. 19.6 puts me at 38. 20 puts me at 41, which is really close to max pressure. Max pressure for this cartridge is 44,962. So let's call that max. We still have some unburnt propellant in this at 88%. Effective efficiency rate of 30.5%. So, yeah, we could do better finding the right powder. Let's try
Ooh.
Yeah, it is, but I'm working on it. Okay. This is long shot, and there's a real nice flat part to the curve there with a 10-inch barrel. We're at 41,000. Load density is only 55.7%, but we're getting 100% burn, and we've moved the effective efficiency rate up to 40%. So this is where you can play around with it. And okay, he wants to try Winchester Western. Let's see if they don't have that's not Winchester. It's Accurate now. 1608. Okay. 2205. 22.5 grains. You got a lot of unburnt propellant left at 73% efficiency. Load factor is close to 93%. with accurate arms 1680. So and it gives you the low burn rate, inconsistent combination, and increased error rate of the simulation is very likely because of the low propellant burn rate on it. So it is a way of working the loads up and finding powders, because you can test a lot of powders doing this without having to load the gun up and to load the powder and go out and shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't that hard to do. We sat down and did this, without in just a few minutes. So,
And that is a free app available online, correct?
yep, it's free online. You can just go to Gordon's Reloading Tool. You can find the download it, and go from there. Now, it does not install like a Windows program or anything else like that. The original guy that built it was going to do it. I go into File, find the app, and double click on it, and then it opens up. It just won't do that from. It doesn't have an install program.
Oh, so you got to open up the execute file.
Right. You have to open up the execute file, and then it goes.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. It'll automatically put a shortcut on the desktop for you.
14-inch barrel. He wants a 14-inch barrel. We're using a 10. We go to 14 inches, and we've jumped to 93%, 77% burn propellant, and there's still an inconsistent combustion and increased error rate of the simulation. But hey, we're working with things that it's got a low burn rate. So that's the one thing 1680 has. In other words, it's got a very incomplete burn rate to it.
Low on the chart.
Low in the chart, yeah. Gains. I want 10, 15, 52. Go to back to 14 and 16. Velocity gains by going to a 14 is about 50 feet per inch. So between 25 and 50 feet per inch, depending upon where you're at. So, all right.
Oh, gee.
All right, I'm going to shut this one down, guys. Stop sharing. Go back to this, and I have to restart because I lost my camera.
I had to switch computers completely because I lost audio. Not a good night for StreamYard, kids.
Nope.
What are those shot show Christmas lights you got up there?
Yep. I made those, I don't know, 15 years ago.
I'll be darned.
I used my mech press. I used the pre-crimp setting. And it crimps it just enough that it slides right over an LED bulb and stays put.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought about making them and selling them, but it's too much work to go through the whole selling crap.
Okay. I'm back.
Hello again.
Oh. So I hope that helps some people to look for loads and to test stuff without having to test things.
Yeah.
And if I was, finding a load for a gun, I would go through the powder burn rate and use it to kind of figure out where I want to be, as far as, like I say, 308, I might want to start with 30 H322 and work my way down all the way to H, 4350, just to give me a list of powders, and then find out and mark down the ones that I can buy the powders for, because 15 RL15 might be the powder that works out the best, but if you can't get it, it doesn't matter. So it gives you a way to test other powders to find out without buying three $60 pounds of powder.
Yeah.
And six pack project, you have to understand, to me, 1680 was always a Winchester powder. So it was my 22 Hornet powder.
All right, gang. So that was a good show. I want to take a minute to talk about Patriot Patch Company. Now, where did I put the patch? Crikey. How did I lose it? Good grief.
Mike's riding the struggle bus tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. I haven't even been drinking.
That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Bartender, I'd like some alcohol, please. I had it. Oh, It's on the keyboard. Anyway. Good grief. So, if you join the Patriot Patch Club Patch of the Month, you get Ryan's original drawing. And you get, yes, they're upside down. Because I don't know my right from my left. The awesome sticker and patch. So if you go to the web, you go to firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2. And then you can click on crikey. Yeah. Oh, Russ. How appropriate. Support this show. It's an orange button.
Yep.
So Russ said, Alaska Russ 1 said, Mike, don't drive this program sober. We could all get hurt. This is true. So
Mike's a good driver with our struggle bus that we have here. So
yeah, it is a certified short bus.
Yep.
And occasionally I lick the windows. Oh God. Anyway, yeah, I definitely am going to need some group therapy on Thursday. I don't know. Anyway, so you can swing over there. That's firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2 and click on support us. It'll take you over to Patreon. You can sign up for one of the Patreon levels there, like Aaron did after last week's show. Thank you, Aaron. Welcome to the club. I'm still looking for something other than Patreon, and I haven't found anything yet. So I looked into Rumble. Rumble has its own subscription, which we do have available. It's a $5 subscription on level. And then you can also donate. Somebody donated a rant for $3.85 last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. So thank you for that. Otherwise, you can just shoot me an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll figure out another way to do that also, if you want to support the show. So, as I said earlier, GunCon's coming. GunCon.net. Get your tickets if you're going. It's in Cleveland. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of amazing companies that are going to be there with a lot of amazing giveaways. The best part is the giveaways come as part of your ticket. So does lunch. So, by the time you hear this audio, GunCon will be here and gone. And we'll be talking about goals. So, hopefully, next week, we'll be back in the reloading room. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? So, but shout out to everybody that has supported this program over the last 11 years. Wow, 11 years. You made a lot of trips to SHOT Show and to GunCon and other things possible. Thank you for that. And you continue to make this show possible every week because unfortunately StreamYard isn't cheap. Well, supposedly there's some other options out there now that are better. We'll take a look into that. But the last one that I heard of, Sean tested out and it was really buggy. So that's the last thing we want is any more issues. So anybody else got any shout outs?
No.
No.
All right. On that note, folks, keep your brass shiny.
Teach them shoot, reload when they're young.
Grandpa told me, he says, don't listen to your mama. Violence does solve problems.
Remember to support the Second Amendment. Support organizations that fight for your rights. If you are a member of the NRA, they are still not back. They're getting there. They need help and they need direction. So they need the membership to continue to reach out. So if you're a life member or even if you're an annual member, contact the board. So more importantly, support the other organizations out there that are filing court cases and taking stuff to the winds. It's going to be interesting. Yes, they turned down Snopes and they turned down Ocean City, which we wanted them to do because that would have killed magazine bans and it would have killed assault weapon bans. But in the 9-0 decision, slapping down Mexico for their lovely little lawsuit against Smith & Wesson, they freely admitted that ARs and AKs are in general and common use. So that kind of gives us a bright spot. Gorsuch is very confident they will do this in the next 2 years. I think they're just waiting. Some people seem to think that they're waiting for a case that is just going to be so blatantly slap downish that the lower courts have no choice but to flat out say, yeah, could be. But the lower courts have no choice but to say, oh crap, they are serious. Oh, by the way, did you see the Fifth Circuit?
Yes.
Change their decision
On silencers. Yes, they are firearms.
Silencers are firearms and they are covered by the Second Amendment. So that was a huge change.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're on track to get all of SBSs, SBRs, and silencer suppressors all removed from the tax stamp. Looks like there's still going to be a 4473. So I'm wondering how's that going to work if I have a shotgun that is currently beyond the 16-inch or the 18-inch length, and I decide I want to make it shorter. Am I going to have to file still? That'll be interesting to see. Anyway, so things are going well. Call your Congress critters, especially your senators. Let them know that you support this and they should support it too. Otherwise, midterms might not go for well. Midterms are coming. Pay attention to who's running. It's going to be huge. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time. Trump was in office where midterms didn't go as well as they should have. So, but the bigger thing is we need to push and get stuff done now. Other than that, That's about all I got for now. So we will see you next week. More importantly, if you're struggling, 988 or 1-800-273-8255, reach out, get some help. If you're just looking for a place to go to get help, but you're not crisis mode, you're not thinking about ending it all, Walk the Talk America is a good place to start. So, good night, all.
Good
Good
night.
night.